I've only got 10 minutes, so be as quick as you can. Hello.
Hello, is that any better?
Whoa, you're like really, really tinny, metallic-y sort of...
You cheeky bastard, you need to be quick. I mean, I'm the one who's bloody just recorded what's fuck's sake.
A few players... So, a few player news... I'll start that again. a few bit...
You start slapping yourself in the face now.
Oh, no. Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and my co-host, and not my special guest this time, is Dave. How are you doing,
Oh,
Dave?
Thankfully I've got some recognition. No, I'm very well, Derek. It's just strange for the two of us to actually be recording the pod in daylight. But we've taken this opportunity of the two of us being off during the day and just to get this done, or we would have been struggling this week, I think. So no, it's as I say, finally good to get recognised in this pod as being a co-host and not just some guy that you've wandering about in the street that talks about Rangers.
Sometimes I think I'm better with getting a random guy for the street.
You probably are.
And in fairness, I always introduce you as my co-host. It's just that one podcast, the reaction pod.
You made me. You belittled me so much that I was actually contemplating no coming back. I wasn't.
It fucking worked. Yes, we've got a few games to cover today. We're not going to cover them in great depth anyway, because they've obviously been in past.
They were
yeah, well, exactly. They were last year as well, so we're into a new year. So happy New Year to all of our listeners as well. Hope you all had a good one.
Yep.
Right, so we will go down the pitch. No, we're not. We'll go down.
Oh, here we go.
New Year, same blunders. We'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. So the first game we've got to cover, as I said, I'm not covering it in great depth, was Saturday the 23rd of December. It was a 2-1 loss away to Kilmarnock. Now, we wanted to bounce back after the dismal loss to St Johnstone at home a few days before, and we all know that our away record is better than our home record this year, and unfortunately it never carried on that way. We were pretty pathetic all game. Declan John scored in the 39th minute, and then it was coming all second half. We just never turned up. Chris Boyd, in typical fashion, scores on the 77th minute, and on the 80th minute. I mean, if Chris Boyd can score and walks by your defence the way he did, then that doesn't say much, does it?
It was the first half was a strange one, Derek, because I actually at half time I don't know if I've put out a tweet saying, I honestly can't believe that we're actually winning this game, because we didn't deserve it at all. We were really poor in the first half. Don't get me wrong, Kilmarnock done very little in the first half as well. But, the fact that we're winning, I thought, this is a total bonus, because we're not playing well. But as you say, Chris Boyd comes in, and if somebody like Chris Boyd can outrun your defence and, be a main threat to us, that's quite worrying, and a very, very disappointing performance and a very poor result, Derek. But it was what they deserved, the way they played. There was no, they never bounced back at all like we were hoping that they would, and I just think they were completely out-muscled. The guy Malumbu in midfield for Kilmarnock ran the show. He is a very good player, Derek. He was playing in the Premiership not too long ago with West Brom, but he really did run the show, and we had nothing to match him whatsoever in midfield, and they just completely overpowered us in the match. We had nothing, and we were just very, very poor. Can't say much more than that.
Yeah, I think some of the players were just really, they were totally disinterested in the game. They didn't seem to want to play at all, and it's been a feature of the team for months now. For some of them, I mean, I thought Candias was abysmal, to be honest. He just wasn't chasing anything. He was losing the ball when he was getting past. He just didn't seem interested at all. And it just shows you as well that Kilmarnock, we knew it was going to be a difficult game, and I think we did mention that because they're on a good run now, and Steve Clarke's got them playing pretty good. They've went from solid relegation candidates to now joint in the top 6 and comfortably as well. So
that's right.
Yeah,
but he's got them well organised, Derek, and he's brought in a few players that he's obviously known about down in England that have made a huge difference to them, and he's got Chris Boyd scoring goals as well. So we know that the Scottish league's not that great, but if you get your defence solid and you can get somebody to score goals, you'll do really well, and that's what he's got them doing.
Yep.
Maybe would have been a wee candidate for us. If things had worked out different. Steve Clarke's, he's certainly got the experience, but going back to us, we just showed nothing and very poor.
Yep. Steve Clarke's, though, in his interviews, he's one boring bastard, isn't he?
Would you be caring if he was getting us winning, though, Derek?
Probably not.
No. Definitely no. I would have Steve Davis, the snooker player, in there if I thought that was going to work.
One thing we probably should have mentioned right at the start of the programme is we have finally appointed a manager of sorts, haven't we?
Yes, yep.
Graham Murty's been given the managerial role until the end of the season, at least. So
yes, aye.
I think it's the way it had to go. The board in their comments have really kind of shot themselves in the foot, as we've mentioned, about saying that none of the available candidates were really suitable, and that's you then went after your supposedly main target and lost out on them, which we've covered as well. But so I'm not disappointed in it. I think it was really, really poor from the board, I've got to say, in the way it was handled. If it's almost, if I was Graham Murty, I would feel like a second-class citizen there. But as he said, he put himself out there. He said time and time again during this stint that he would never turn it down, and an honour. So good luck to him. And obviously that result, his first game against Kilmarnock, never really panned out, did it?
I know. We do, as I say, I do feel sorry for him slightly. As you say, he's been, it maybe has looked as if he's been the sort of, maybe even the second or third choice guy. But the old saying, Derek, you never look a gift horse in the mouth, do you? And he's came out, I quite like the guy. If it had been a straight choice between him or Derek McInnes, that honestly would have went for Murty every time, because I don't think that Derek McInnes would bring anything more to the team than what Murty would. I think that Graham Murty's got the players at his disposal, and he can get them organised, and they can. I know that we don't want to be aiming for second, Derek, but the way that the league's going, I think it's maybe going to be our best chance, unless we bring in some superstars in the transfer window, which we'll go into, which will be highly doubtful. But I think for the fact that they've no went out and spent a lot of money, they've no given a lot of money to Aberdeen for McInnes, the way that panned out, it's a sensible option at this point. I still don't know what their long-term plan is. If there is a long-term plan, Derek, I honestly don't know. The way that everything's going, we're having to second guess everything that's happening. But as you say, we're not too disappointed. We'll give him our full backing. I quite like the guy. I think he does get the team organised, and we just have to hope that the players don't let him down, Derek. I think that's going to be his biggest problem.
Yeah. And also the stories are that it should have been confirmed by now, but it's not been, as that Jimmy Nicholl is to come in as his number 2. A bit of a left field choice, but I think it's will be a pretty good one if it turns out. A
very popular choice, I think, Derek, with the supporters, especially the sort of older guys, like myself, even older, that can even remember Jimmy playing for Rangers. They know he's a Rangers man, big time. He's been in the Scottish game for a long, long time as a player, as a manager, as a coach, as assistant manager, so he knows the game in Scotland inside out. So, for a guy like Graham Murty with not a lot of experience, certainly picked, probably the most experienced guy to be his number 2 out there. So, a sensible appointment, which we've really got to support, I think. So no, I'm quite pleased with that one. But as you say, still not over the line yet, but going by the way that everybody's talking, it looks as if that's who's going to be his number 2. So good luck to him as well.
Yep, and he's assistant to Michael O'Neill
Paul
as well.
Oh yes, sorry, I thought you were meant the job he's in at the moment. Yeah, he's assistant to Michael O'Neill. So as you say, international experience also. So no, I think it's a very, very sensible choice for us, and it's good to have somebody with his experience in there.
It's quite funny that people were saying, "Oh, there's the link to Michael O'Neill. It'll be Michael O'Neill in the summer." I just hope it's no fucking Paul Hartley in the summer.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yes, and on the same day that Murty got announced as manager, we confirmed the permanent signing of loanee Declan John from Cardiff until 2021. So good management there.
Yeah, no, Derek, he's been good. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's had a few off games, as have the rest of the players, but I would say that he's been one of your best performers this season when he has been playing. So no, I'm delighted with that. We've signed him on a free contract. Certainly good enough for the SPL. He's good enough to be playing in that position. And as we'll get into, the last game, I thought he was fantastic in that game. So no, I'm delighted with that one.
Yep. Into the next game here, I haven't covered it again fully because RTV there was issues with that, and I haven't managed to watch it back again. Yep. But wasn't going to cover it in great depth anyway. Which was Wednesday the 27th. It was a 2-0 win at home to Motherwell. First half was, as I mentioned in the reaction pod, probably one of the worst games of football you'll ever see. There was just nothing happened. We largely controlled the game, but we were getting pegged back when it got to the final third. Motherwell were playing a strong game, and it just shows you how bad we were if Motherwell can do that. Second half we came out obviously a wee bit better. We got the goals. 56 minute with Wilson with a fantastic strike on the left hand side of the box after a
great goal. Yep.
And Morelos scored on the 76th minute. A ball got floated up to him into the box. It stayed with him for ages. It felt like he controlled it and eventually got the shot away under the legs of the Motherwell defender and into the back of the net. We definitely played a lot better in the second half anyway.
Yes.
But Motherwell again, they were just. I've watched it back since. I did say in the reaction pod I would need to watch some of the incidents back, and I have done not long after. And they were trying to hack us off the park. There was no question about it. They're just thugs, really, aren't they?
It's becoming an issue, with them. It's not been highlighted that much in some of the other matches, but I've certainly seen a lot of things on Twitter for supporters from other clubs when Motherwell have been playing them, complaining also about it. The one thing I'll say about Motherwell with Louis Moult being out, yes, I know I'm going to go on about Louis Moult again. I get slagged off for it, but Louis Moult is their outstanding player. He's the player that they look for. He's the player that they try to get involved in every attack. When Louis Moult's not playing, Motherwell are, completely lost it up front, and I actually think the Motherwell are going to go and really struggle now because they've not got a replacement, because apparently he's supposed to be signing for Preston. I don't know if he has signed officially for them or not now, but that was the talk. And without him, Motherwell are going to struggle. And as you say, they basically sat with 2 banks of 5 against us. And they couldn't even get away in the break. I can't even remember Motherwell having any sort of great chances to score in the match. It was just a poor performance from them, just trying to stop us scoring. Thankfully, it didn't work, and we managed to get the 2 goals. Delighted for Morelos that he scored, because coming up for the next game after that, I think it helped him, because I thought he was excellent in the next game. But as you say, a bit of a turgid game. Bit better in the second half, and at least we managed to score the 2 goals, and a great goal for the goal machine that is Danny Wilson.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, we've got to talk about the Ryan Jack getting injured. It was an off-the-ball incident, I think. Well, it was a slightly off-the-ball incident. I was too busy watching the ball where it went afterwards, and I actually missed it when I was at the game. My dad, I asked him about it, and he says it seemed to be a 50-50, no malice in it. I've watched it back again, and it was a stonewall red card, if you've ever seen one. I agree with Murty, and I know a lot of people said that he shouldn't be saying this after the game and his post-match comments. I do not think there was a lot of malice in it. I think keep rate is just a very clumsy clumsy player, and I don't think he goes out to intentionally injure people, but he's just absolutely useless, and he puts in challenges that he's no business doing. And if, put it this way, if Ryan Jack against Stevie May was a straight red card, then this is the biggest straight red card you've ever seen, because it was it wasn't the exact same thing in terms of that. There was a pass by Kipre or anything like that. He did his position in his foot did change, and it landed right on just below the knee of Ryan Jack. And the best of it was right in front of the referee.
Yeah, I know. Aye. When I seen it, I was the same as you, Derek. When I first seen it happened quite quickly. But when you see the sort of clear view that the referee did have, and you see how high his foot was, dangerous play. Whether he intended it or not, Derek, and a shocker. And as I say, I think that was the worst thing, the fact it was right in front of the referee as well. Ryan Jack must really think he's jinxed, Derek. He must. How the guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, we would all be the same if we were playing for our team that we loved. We would be absolutely delighted and would do anything to pull that shirt on. But any lesser of a man out there would be so disheartened that they would be completely pissed off with the treatment that Jack's had this season for us. And fair play to the guy, he's when he comes out there, you can see that he gives his all. But I know that I would be getting totally pissed off, as I'm sure you would as well, if you were either getting sent off or being targeted. And it looks to me as if he is, Derek, and getting absolutely no help for the referees at all. Getting booked, getting sent off all the time for nothing, and then things like that happening to him as well. It's very disheartening to see.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously Bowman had comments before the game in the media, effectively saying that he knows he's going to get stick, but he's just going to get on with it. He doesn't really bother about that. And he came on as a sub, when I think in the 70th odd minute or something like that. And his first challenge he put in was a flying. His elbow did connect. I don't even think we got a foul for it.
Yep.
He's put a lead with his elbow, jumping up for a header as well again, and he smashed him in the face. Nothing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But we, as you said, we are getting refereed to a different standard. So one thing I mentioned in the reaction pod as well is we're getting bullied, both as in terms of the challenges getting put in on us, as well as I think the style of play that we were losing out a lot when we were getting up there, because we just weren't putting challenges in. Do you think we're lacking a good hacking bastard? Because I think we are, and I mentioned that in the reaction pod, a good, solid midfield player who will take no shit from anyone, who will not be feared to go in and put the big, heavy challenges in.
I am glad that you've said that, Derek, because it was something that was going to come to later on. Now, a lot of people have got mixed feelings about this. I am one of them, but bringing Andy Halliday back into midfield, is that the type of player that you're talking about? Maybe a sort of no-nonsense type guy trying to get more forward, rather than playing the holding midfield position that he was playing before, more of an Ian Ferguson type box-to-box midfielder who will go out, try and win the tackles and try and get forward. Do you think that's the reason that he's getting brought back? Do you think he thinks that he would add a wee bit more steel into the midfield? Somebody, that's Rangers daft. As I say, we were, we were saying that, we didn't fancy him in the team last season because, he wasn't doing much, and, he looked pretty poor. I know that his confidence was well low, playing in that position that he wasn't sure of. But do you think that this is maybe a good thing that they're bringing him back?
Not for that reason, to be honest. I think we need to bring back these players, and I'll get into it later, for the fact that we're so threadbare now with our squad. You see it with Holt, as he runs about, he puts the challenges in, but I don't see what everybody else sees. I see him running about as a headless chicken a lot of the time, and as much as he's got some qualities, I think I would say both with Holt and Halliday, they don't have that quality that the likes of Ian Ferguson does. If you know what I mean. They've got the determination, they've got the Rangers at heart, etc., but they've not got that skill on the football park.
I think that Holt is a very good technical player, Derek, a very good passer of the ball. He's very good at finding space. He's very good at, his vision's good. He's just very lightweight, in my opinion, very lightweight. He's quite a slight guy. If he was maybe a stone heavier, stronger rather than fatter, if you know what I mean. But if he was a bit, if his upper body was a bit, because that was getting into the Celtic game, he was getting shouldered off the ball by Scott Brown. But then, again, we'll get into it. Then you seen the likes of Morelos going through Scott Brown and, barging past him as if he wasn't there. And you think to yourself, if Holt, had a bit more upper body strength, he would maybe be a much better player. I think it's the only thing that really lets him down. I wouldn't go so far, Derek, as seen him run a bit like a headless chicken. Actually, I think he's played really well for us this season. There's only been the odd game that he's been anonymous, but it's been games like that, and like the Kilmarnock game when there's been a dominant sort of ball-winning midfielder in there, using their strength against them. And I think that's the games that he gets found out, like the game against Celtic, against Scott Brown, and against Malumbu. I think that's his problem. The Andy Halliday thing, I'm still in two minds about, because I didn't think he was great at all when he left us, and we were all quite happy. But I bet him still says as well that the type of player that he was when we signed him from Bradford, he was more of an attacking type player that scored a lot of goals, and that wasn't the way that he was getting played. So we'll have to wait and see, but he could maybe add a wee bit of bite in there. I'm not looking at Halliday to be a first, to come back and be an instant first team player, but with the things that's happening to Ryan Jack, Derek, we certainly do need somebody in there with a wee bit of bite, like you said, and maybe they're looking at Halliday thinking that he's the man that's going to do that.
Quite possibly, yeah. We'll just need to wait and see.
Yep.
Moving on now, and it's the last game of the year, and the last game we've got to cover was Saturday the 30th of December, 0-0 draw away to Celtic. Pretty good performance, I think. And it sounded like Larry David there, but
pretty good.
We covered this on the reaction pod, Derek. I'll let you get into the game, because I've watched it back myself since then, and like you said, if somebody had said to us before the game, would you take a 0-0 draw, everybody would have said yeah, definitely. Looking back, I'm disappointed that we didn't come out of there with 3 points, because I thought in the second half we were by far the better team, and we completely dominated the game, and a fantastic all-round team performance the second half, with the exception of maybe two players who had one had a poor game, but he's hardly played. Another one had just a quiet game. But I'll let you get into the actual match, because I know you'll have quite a few things to talk about.
Yep. So we lined up Fotheringham, Tavernier, Alves, Wilson, John, Candias, Holt, McCrory, Windass, Cranchar and Morelos. On the subs bench we had Anik, Barjonas, Herrera, Bates, Hardy, Hodgson and Penna. First thing that most of us said, and we were questioning it because he never had a great game, but he never had a bad game either against Motherwell, was the inclusion of Cranchar. We kind of thought that Barjonas would have maybe slotted in there, because when he came on for Jack against Motherwell, he was fantastic.
Yep, he certainly was, yep.
So on the 4th minute, we had a great chance with great tenacious play to win the ball by Windass, passes to Morelos, hits a good shot but forces a save from the keeper. 11th minute, there was a good save from Fotheringham. It was a free kick floated in, headed back towards goal, and Fotheringham gets there. And a minute later, Celtic had another chance. The ball was flashed by our goal after a great save, sending it out for corner. A really great save. I thought it was wide at the first, but then when you view it back and replay it, it was a great
an
save.
Incredible save. It really was.
3 minutes later, we were under the cosh at this point. It was an incredible save from Fotheringham again after the free kick. It goes out to Sinclair, cleared off the line again, back out to the Celtic player, and another good save from Fotheringham while he was on the ground. And there was a wee stat bar that flashed up there at that point, and it was something like 6 attempts by Celtic and 1 to Rangers.
Yeah.
And at that point, just before that, we were probably the better of the two teams.
We were. Yep. I thought the same thing myself, Derek. Yep.
Yeah, and that was one thing my dad asked me. Do you think that'll be that wee flurry there that happened? And the chances are the stats bar. Yeah, it was all the 3 attempts and the one kind of bit of start there. And here's the bit of controversy. In the 18th minute, Alves went off injured and Bates came on. As Hart and Hand have said, that there's been a lot of people saying both ways, Oki was injured, Oki's faking it. I think there's no doubt that he was injured. However, I always think, and we've said it before, is his inclusion in the Portugal World Cup squad must be playing on his mind. So is he thinking any tiny wee knock that he takes, oh right, shit, I'm injured now, I can't play?
Derek, I will be totally honest here and hold my hands up. You know that I have been somebody who's been desperate for him to do well and you know, talking him up. When Celtic were having that flurry, there was you looked at his face and he actually looked panicked at one point, right? And people might disagree with me. And when he went off injured, I said to myself, he can't handle this. A guy his experience cannot handle this. We're getting, you know, that sort of 5-minute period when we were getting bombarded. I thought he's going to crumble, and now he's taking, you know, the easy way out, and he's gone off injured. That's what I thought. Since then, we've seen him in a hospital in Portugal with a big sort of support boot on, you know, the fact that he has been injured. But I think we all thought that, Derek. We've all thought he's no wanting to get injured. He's wanting to make sure he's still getting played for Portugal. But Derek, it didn't change the way that the team played, because I thought when Bates came on, I thought he was absolutely outstanding. The young guy, I really did. And the team, in my opinion, after that, looked so much more organised and solid at the back when Bates came on and Alves went off, and that's saying something.
Yep. I mean, put it this way, from then after the kind of 15 minutes till the rest of the half, Celtic certainly were the better team. But they never had very many chances, that's the thing. After that, they were getting
down the wings, Derek, but not to the effect that they usually do. And then as soon as anything came into the box, to be fair to Danny Wilson as well, he had a fantastic game. And Bates he just looked composed, Derek, more than anything else, Bates. And Celtic, I think, thought to themselves at that point, oh, we're going to really bombard them now. But after the first few crosses into the box, Bates was getting on the end of them. There was a couple of tackles, a couple of shots blocked by him as well, and the boy just grew in stature the whole game. And Celtic could see that as well. Then they knew they were going to have to do something extra special to try and break the deadlock, and it never happened. So no, I was delighted for Bates after that, and you know, that's maybe going to do him the world do good.
Yeah, I thought Bates was fantastic, and certainly we'll cover at the end of the match, but certainly a candidate for man of the match as well.
Yep, definitely.
Next bit here was in the 42nd minute, McCrory went off with a bloodied nose after a clash with the Celtic player in our box. First angle that I seen it looked as if McCrory ran into him, but however on another angle it looked as if there was a proper shoulder challenge to his face. I don't know what you think about that.
Derek, I didn't think there was much in it, to be perfectly honest with you. I watched it a few times, and the reason that I say that is I don't think that it was it the boy McGregor that done it, that plays in midfield. I don't think he was actually really looking directly at him. I think the two of them were, you know, it was a tackle, but unfortunately for McCrory, he got a Sorian. But thankfully it didn't put him off his game either, because he had a fantastic second half as well. Yeah,
I mean, the one thing about McCrory is, and contrast him to Alves, the amount of punishment McCrory takes is incredible.
Yeah,
he's getting stuck right into very hard challenges a lot of the time, and he does go down injured, but then he gets back up and then he goes on with the game. It's fantastic mentality.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like you. I don't think there was too much in it. There was certainly one angle that I did see. It looked as if it was a shoulder challenge to the face, and the Celtic player's arms did kind of go out to one, so he knew he was there. To the extent he knew he was there, I'm not too sure. But there's a lot of people calling for, you know, blood. Pardon the pun in that one, but
yeah,
it's. I think some people, because of the times and because of how much shit we've had to deal with from referees and other teams this season, they're calling for anything. And it's at
the time it happened, Derek, I was more worried about him not being able to continue, more than anything else, because at that point, that was when we started to sort of turn, the screw, and we started, we started getting back into the game at the end of the first half, and that's, I was more worried that he wasn't going to continue, but thankfully for us, he did.
Yep. The only last thing I've got here for the first half was in the 43rd minute. It was a good chance from Celtic, just wide of the post, pretty much an open goal, and I think it was the Scott Sinclair chance.
Sinclair, yeah.
And it was very reminiscent of the Patrick Roberts chance in the semi-final a couple of years ago. It was easier to score than miss, to be honest, but never mind. I'm not going to bleat about that.
I know, what a shame.
Into half time, and it's obviously came out in the press now that the players had a massive rant at each other, and from what Heart and Hand have said, it was Danny Wilson that was leading the whole thing, which was good to see. So certainly it worked, and Murty said that he just sat back and let them go at it. He didn't actually need to say anything, which was fantastic. And it's something that we've been apparently lacking on the pitch, is that fight and that team spirit. But boy, did we get it in the second half, didn't we?
Yep, we certainly did.
Yep. In the 47th minute, there was a brilliant move, a great cross from the right-hand side, volley at the 6-yard line from Tavernier, and it was a great save to put it over the bar by Craig Gordon. Fantastic move, great save, great volley.
And what the hell was Tav doing in the box at that point? You've got to say, Tav at that was playing really well. For the whole of the second half, he was excellent. And I think one of your sort of main danger players. But when I seen the cross coming in and the volley, I was thinking it would maybe be Morelos or somebody in there. But you're not expecting your right back to be in that position and pulling off an acrobatic sort of volley like that, Derek. It was really unlucky. Great save by Gordon, and on another day that would have went in.
Yep. On the 58th minute, it was a good ball into the box, bounces right in front of Gordon and makes him spill it. It was a good play and a good move. 67th minute, brilliant run by Tavernier down the right, taking on players, superb cross, a header from Morelos. It was a great save from the leg of Gordon and put it out for the corner. Fantastic move, brilliant from Tavernier down the right. 78th minute, it was a superb cross from Tavernier, header from Morelos wide. If he puts it on target, it was in.
I know. I think if that had felt it nearly no slagging the guy off, Derek, because I thought he was outstanding as well, Morelos, and caused them all sorts of problems. But maybe if that had felt a Pena or somebody else, it would have scored. But one of these things. I
think that was where I think I put out on Twitter. He'd like a biscuit tin.
I think so, yeah.
But it was quite funny. My dad always thinks that it's his haircut that puts him off heading the ball. So the first thing he shouted, "Get your fucking haircut!"
Or put some gel in it or something.
Exactly. Okay. 79th minute, Nico Cranchar came off, Pena came on, and 87th minute, Morelos came off and Herrera came on. I never wrote too many notes about this because I was so wrapped up in the game, and I haven't watched it back since, but it was brilliant all round. Apart from, as you've said, Windass, where I think he had he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good.
No, quiet game. A quiet game. He's been. We certainly know he has been far more effective playing in that sort of striker position. He seems to prefer that, but he was getting played back on the left-hand side again, Derek, and he was very quiet, but at the same time I thought Declan John was outstanding on the left-hand side, so maybe Windass was taking a lot of the heat off him and creating space for John, because I thought he played really, really well. And I'm sure you're about to get into Cranchar as well, which I said to you, Derek, at one point, why have they not took him off a lot sooner? And you got back to me and said, well, we're in the ascendancy here. He maybe doesn't want to change it because we are in the ascendancy. I don't know, maybe if they'd had somebody where, it was a better runner that had more energy, his fitness levels was up a lot more like Barjonas, we might have capitalised on that, but hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, we did cover that in the reaction pod, so I think he's done. I've said that before. I think he's done. He's too far gone for him to be here for now. This is a year and a half, and I think he's played a handful of games.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was the thing that was noticeable for me, Derek, was he finally started coming into the game maybe about 10 minutes before he went off, but I think that was because all the opposition players were all absolutely knackered, so the pace had dropped significantly. So that was him now finding his pace in the game, and you can't have that, I'm afraid. The guy obviously does have the talent, but the only one thing that I can remember positive for him doing was the ball, and I can't remember if it was Morelos or maybe the Candace down the right hand side. The kind of, the ball broke to him, and he turned his man really well and played a fantastic ball down the right hand side. I think it was possibly Candace that ran onto it, but that's really the only thing, positive thing that I can really remember him doing in the game. And you can't have that in an Old Firm game, and thankfully it didn't cost us.
Yeah, obviously we're quite a mixture of happy at the performance, disappointed at the result, because as you said, we could have came away with a win. I think we were by far dominated them. If you take into account the whole game, Celtic absolutely had their chances, but it only came in maybe a 5-minute flurry where the main chances came. We had chances all game, probably more clear-cut ones. Obviously Fotheringham played his part as well, a couple of great saves. Again, Gordon had a couple of great saves as well. The usual shite in the media by the same suspects. I don't even want to get into that because they're just saying stuff now for the sake of it, just to be controversial. I'm really not interested in what they have to say, or even commenting what they have to say. I wish some Rangers fans would just ignore them, because they wouldn't have that opinion then. They would actually maybe get back to doing proper reporting rather than just goading certain fans. Same with the Celtic fans in general. Really don't care about what they've got to say. They can say whatever they want. I just really don't care anymore. But I'm quite happy with the performance, because we're on a hiding to nothing. As you said at the start, we would have bit your hand off if you said it was going to be 0-0 given our previous form. So it leaves us in the table: played 22, won 12, drawn 4, lost 6, scored 41, conceded 25, goal difference plus 16, points 40. We're sitting in third position, 3 points behind Aberdeen, 11 behind Celtic. So never say never, but it's looking more likely, especially the way if Aberdeen. Especially when you look at the next opposition, Aberdeen get pumped 3-0 off Celtic there just before we played them as well. We're 5 points but ahead of Hibs, and we're 10 ahead of Hearts, so we're sitting comfortably now in third place now, which is good to see. So
it's like I said, we were talking about it, Derek. We need to take the positives out of the game. Every player played well. I thought Morelos was outstanding up front, apart from that one header that he missed. He couldn't have done anything about the other header. That was a perfect, and it was a great save. Maybe a wee bit greedy with a few other chances, but that's what strikers do. You've really got to take your hats off to the two centre halves. But down the right hand side, I thought we were outstanding. I thought Candace was, that's one of his best performances for us, and of course Tav, we really had to give him man of the match, because I thought he was excellent. Just maybe just a wee bit more belief, Derek, and we could have went out and won that. But everybody's still learning, the manager's still learning, and we'll just have to wait and see. But you say pleased with the result, and pleased with the performance more than anything else.
Yep. So the games to come, we have now obviously into the winter break. There's a 3-week shutdown, or just over 3-week shutdown. We are away off to Florida, where it's apparently going to be snowing as well, from what I've seen.
Apparently it's about 7 degrees over there now. You'd be absolutely raging if you'd booked your holidays for Florida now.
So the Florida Cup we are playing, it's between the 10th and 20th of January, and our first game is on Saturday 11th against Brazilian side Atletico Mineiro, I think it is. That's it, yeah. And then 2 days later against Corinthians.
Right.
It's a league set up. It's a strange way they do it. There's a nation gets awarded a trophy. There's a club that gets awarded a trophy. No idea how it works, but we'll see how it goes anyway.
Certainly two huge teams were playing, Derek. Yep. So I mean, it will give them good opposition. We just have to hope that they give a good account of themselves, and it's there, and it helps. I don't know if the vast majority of the first team are going to be playing, Derek, or it's a chance for a lot of the younger players to get a shot, playing. But we just have to hope that they come back rejuvenated But as you say, I didn't think they're going to come back with a suntan.
No, certainly not. Back into regular duties on Sunday the 21st of January. It's away to Fraserburgh in the Scottish Cup 4th round, 12 o'clock kick-off. Then it's Wednesday the 24th of January at home to Aberdeen in the Premiership. That's a 19:45 kick-off. And then Sunday the 28th of January away to Ross County in the Premiership. That is a 1400 kick-off. I was looking through this and I think we've only had maybe 3 o'clock on a Saturday kick-off in the last 2 months, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
For Scottish football is on its knees right now, and certainly that kind of stuff isn't going to help when you have your paying fans not getting their games at regular times. That's maybe just one of the features of us being on the TV all the time, though, is the fact that the away games are always changed.
That's exactly what it is, I think, Derek, and they're not going to turn down the TV money. That's, what comes in. But as you say, it is quite sad for especially guys like yourself that's got your season ticket, that bases your season ticket round, a Saturday at that point. It's, quite disheartening for the supporters, but, money talks, I'm afraid, and that's the way it's been like that for a while now.
So, we don't have a boardroom section this time, so we'll go now into the classic match.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Dave, you've got a bit of a strange European game for us.
Yes, I've got a strange European game, Derek. The reason I was looking through a lot of matches, and I was looking at a lot of league games from the late 90s, and then into the going to the sort of 2008, 2009 season, and I had a couple of games picked out, and then I just happened to come across a headline, and it was a first for any Scottish club, and it's a game that we all forgot about. I forgot about it, Derek, completely, and I watched the game back, and I honestly couldn't really remember much about it. And I was looking at the signings and the team, and I'm trying to think back, and it was basically, and the reason that we've not done a lot of this is because it was during the Paul Le Guen era, and we didn't have much to shout about then. There wasn't many classic matches then, but it was in the Paul Le Guen era, and it was probably the only time that he got his Rangers team playing well, and that was in Europe, because we had some pretty decent performances in Europe under Le Guen, and it was a first for any Scottish club, Derek, because it was the first time that any team from Scotland had won on Italian soil or playing an Italian team, and it was a UEFA Cup match on the 19th of October 2002, and Rangers played Livorno in I think it was the Europa League, or if it was maybe still the UEFA Cup, but it was in the league section. We played Livorno. Now, Livorno, I know, aren't the biggest club in Italy, but they did have a couple of quality players in their team. Samuel Kafor, who was on loan from Bayern Munich, Champions League winner, Bundesliga winner, played in the World Cup with Ghana, a fantastic defender. He was playing for them. And also Italian international striker Cristiano Lucarelli, who was a fantastic player. So, I mean, they had some really good players. The Rangers team at this time, Derek, and again, I was looking back at the team, a lot of familiar names and a lot of other players that that came in, but first of all in goals, and this was the big concern for us all at the time, was the goalkeeper that was brought in by Paul Le Guen, and that was Letizia. Do you remember him? Who was a bit of a bomb-scared goalkeeper.
Easy, Lino.
In defence for Rangers that day, and again trying to look, we had your man Julian Rodriguez playing in defence alongside the calamitous Karel Svensson. Right back was Alan Hutton, and left back was Stevie Smith. Probably one of the very few success stories of the Glen era was Stevie Smith. Into midfield, Charlie Adam, Barry Ferguson playing in there. Up front, we also had Nacho Novo playing up front, and Chris Boyd. Thomas Buffel was on the team, and Charlie Adam playing for Rangers, who was basically just sort of breaking into the Rangers team at that point. Also on the bench for Rangers, Alan McGregor, and then we had the legend as Philip Sibo, Dado Purso, Alec Ray, and then a couple of sort of French youngsters that were brought in, Ponroy, Stonger and Ndai. So,
are you sure?
Strange.
Are you sure that it wasn't Philip Shibo as the commentator pronounced it.
That's right, yeah, no,
I was wondering who that was.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So that game started off for Rangers. Now, at that point, Derek, Rangers were struggling. We knew we were. We still had a lot of sort of the top quality players in the team, but we were struggling. So the result was definitely a total surprise for us, and the performance by Rangers on the night, because it was after a sort of shaky start, we certainly came out and completely dominated the match. Now, the game kicked off and Livorno were in the ascendancy, and Letizia in goals looked really, really shaky. In the second minute, he ran out and basically spilled the ball, when it was easier for him just to hold on to it at the edge of the box.
Easy Lido.
And then just not long after that, there was a high cross into the box that he went to punch it, completely missed it. Luckily for him, there was nobody following up at the back, and it could have been quite an easy goal in there.
Easy Lido.
But then after that, Rangers started to get a bit more composed. In the 14th minute, Thomas Buffel with a great cross in from the right, and Chris Boyd with a header, just wide. A minute after that, Nacho Novo had a long shot across the ground, which was just wide as well. And then in the 18th minute, Rangers danger man at that point, Thomas Buffel, a 1-2 with Nacho Novo, and a great ship.
Say what?
Great chip through ball to Chris Boyd, hits it on the volley, but a bit off key, misses the shot, goes well wide. But then on the 27th minute, Rangers take the lead.
Stephen Smith chips it across, nice knockback, great shot, great goal, Charlie Adam. It's his first European goal for Rangers, it's his first goal for Rangers. A sensational strike, and Rangers take the lead.
Stevie Smith with a cross from the left-hand side. The ball came to Thomas Buffel, who headed it to the edge of the box, and then there was an absolutely fantastic volley from Charlie Adam low into the net, and that was actually Charlie Adam's first ever goal for Rangers. Superb goal from Charlie Adam. We knew the guy, he did have these moments of magic in him, still does. Great goal for Rangers to take the lead. And then just 2 minutes after that,
Hutton for Noble inside Kafur. He's going to attack him all the way. He's brought down, penalty kick. Well, it's all going Rangers' way at the moment. Great run from Nacho Novo. Well, Sami Kafur has got great experience. The 30-year-old, he should have known better there.
Well, it's a stonewall penalty.
Nacho Novo actually picks up a fantastic ball to him in the box on the byline, sort of goes past his man, brought down by the defender, clear penalty to Rangers. Nacho Novo gets puts the ball down, but Chris Boyd basically comes over and says, "Hey, wee man, that's my ball."
Bit of a debate over who's taking the penalty, and I think Nacho's went away in the huff because he's not taking it.
Well, it's Chris Boyd who's going to step up for Rangers. Nacho Novo grabbed the ball, but it's Chris Boyd with 6 goals this term against Marco Emilia, one of the best goalkeepers in Italy. Rangers with a chance to go 2 up. Boyd steps up, as calm as you like, and Chris Boyd can celebrate. He'll run away from the Livorno fans. What a night so far in Livorno for Rangers. Livorno 0, Rangers 2.
Takes the ball off him, but luckily for Boyd, scored the penalty low to the right hand side to make it 2-0 to Rangers. We really weren't expecting it at that point. And then controversy, Livorno got a penalty basically out of nothing. There was nothing in it at all.
Bassoni, the goalkeeper stays, there's a push, there's a penalty. Lucarelli is down, the second penalty of the match, and the home side are awarding it. Rangers not happy at all. Chris Boyd leading the deputation around the Spanish referee.
First impression, I didn't think there was a lot in it. That is that's cheating. That is never a penalty kick.
Defender went down very easily. When you look back on the instant replay, you can see that we were cheated out of that because there was no pull whatsoever. He went down really easily. The two of them were sort of bumping into each other, nothing in it at all. But they took the penalty and scored.
Livorno are back in the match thanks to the talisman Cristiano Lucarelli.
As I say, we were rather aggrieved at that one. Then just not long after that, 35th minute.
Nice touch from Thomas Buffel. Didn't lose the ball. Barry Ferguson. Looking for Boyd. Intelligent play again. Nacho Novo!
Yeah.
What a terrific strike from Nacho Novo. What a night Rangers are having. 3 goals scored by Rangers. A great try from Adam. A penalty from Boyd. And now Nacho Novo, his first goal in over a year since he scored against Falkirk last September. What a cracker it was.
Barry Ferguson in midfield with a long ball to Boyd on the edge of the box. He headed it down into the path of Nacho Novo, who shoots first time along the ground and scores. Rangers, get their 2-goal advantage that they had before. Pretty poor by their goalkeeper, but great play by Rangers. Great awareness from Chris Boyd. Saw that Novo was running through and the wee man ran through and hit it first time along the ground. Great goal for Rangers to make it 3-1. And then just before half-time, Charlie Adam with a fantastic deep cross for the left. Boyd with a header just over the bar. Really unlucky not to score there again. But the half-time whistle sounded. Rangers playing absolutely fantastic in the first half, and then it continued into the second half. Nacho Novo was a constant thorn in their side. The amount of running that the guy done was unbelievable. The 51st minute, Charlie Adam with a long-range shot which was just over the bar. Livorno then had a header from a cross which was well saved by Letizia. And then on the 63rd minute, should have scored. Stevie Smith with a cross for the left-hand side. The ball then breaks for Buffel, who shoots straight at the goalkeeper. If it had went either side of him by an inch, we would have scored that. But the score still remained 3-1 at that point to Rangers. 72nd minute, Moroni from Livorno with a shot from the edge of the box, which actually pulled off quite a good save by Letizia. I keep saying that, Derek, because the guy was an absolute bomb scare for us, so any sort of half-decent save by him was seen as, a bit of a surprise. 74th minute, Rangers on the break with Barry Ferguson. He had options both sides, decides to go alone, takes a low shot for the edge of the box. It was well saved by the goalkeeper. And then on the 89th minute, Livorno pulled one back.
Rangers only one defeat in the last 12 European matches. That was away against Inter Milan. We enjoyed this one much better. The low drive comes in. Lucarelli will score! The last couple of minutes may now be interesting. Lucarelli scores for the second time this evening.
It was a shot, quite an easy shot, a bit of a calamity again by Letizia. He parried it straight to Lucarelli. It was, poacher. He, took his chance, no problem, prodded it home for close range. But again, Rangers should have scored again. In the 91st minute, we had a break. Philip Sibo had came on. He picked the ball up on the right-hand side, kept running. He had a look up and saw that Purcell was making a late run into the box, and he had a cross, but it turned out to be more of a shot because it cannoned off the bar. Really unlucky not to score then. But then just a wee bit of panic right at the end of the game, the 93rd minute. Bakayoko for Livorno has a sort of snapshot but hits it straight at Letizia. So the game finished at full time to Rangers. Really, really good performance by the team, especially the fact it was in Italy. We've never won in Italy before, like I said. Really good performance, especially from Nacho Novo, who was a real constant thorn in their side throughout the whole match. So again, it's maybe a game that a lot of people have forgotten about, but it's certainly a game of some significance for us. Not just for the fact that we got a victory in Italy, but we did actually get a victory under Paul Le Guen.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main
thing. Exactly.
So it was a fantastic result, fantastic performance, and a great game. And we do I think me and you both watched the highlights game, but the full match is actually up on YouTube as well. So
all right, okay.
Go and search for that.
Yep, definitely. Yep.
So we'll have another good, possibly another weird one like that.
Aye. See what I can dig up.
Yes. So we'll go into the news now.
From ITN, the ITV News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
So a few bits of player news now, as obviously we mentioned about Declan Jones signing a permanent deal. Obviously Ross and Robbie McCrory have put pen to paper as well and signed a new 4.5-year deal with us. So obviously with the way Ross is playing just now, it's fantastic, and Robbie McCrory has not had a lot of chances because he's out on loan to Berwick just now, and he's a goalkeeper, so obviously chances don't come along very often for goalkeepers, but it's good to see that he put a deal in place anyway.
It's fantastic, Derek. Like we've said, with the praise where praise due, and Ross McCrory's been outstanding for us. I mean, he's been a real shining light for us this season. There's not been one game that we can honestly turn around and say that he's had a quiet game. He's always been one of our main performers for a guy of that age with no experience to come in and show the attitude that he's got, and the performance is absolutely fantastic, and the guy can only get better, Derek, and signing a four-year deal for us shows that the club think the same way about him. So no, that's brilliant news for us, it really is. And the way the guy's playing now, they can't drop him, they can't not play him, so long may that continue, and just really, really good news for the club.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously we mentioned it as well, Andy Halliday is getting recalled from loan, as well as Joe Dodu, I can't even say it, Joe Dodu Dodu, and Michael O'Halloran's coming back, which was quite surprising. I didn't think he would have had a career left at Rangers, but as I mentioned, I think it's as much as we might think some of these players are maybe not worth it, we're threadbare just now, and certainly we lack depth. It's the options on the bench we've not had. So
the one thing that we've got to say, Derek, if we look at players who we also thought didn't have a future at the club, one player springs straight to mind, is Danny Wilson. And you've got to say that Danny Wilson has, played really well for us under Graham Murty. I don't know if it's just, a complete different style of football under Murty, a lot more organised. So who knows, maybe these players might come back, Derek, and find a new lease of life under him. We can only give them a chance. As you say, our squad is so thin on the ground at the moment that I think any sort of player with any type of experience of the club would be good to have at the moment. I'm actually pleased that the likes of O'Halloran's coming back, because if we get him back to full fitness, I think that's a great option to have up front, even if it's to come off the bench and go straight up front, because the guy is pacey. You can say what you want. He's played really, really well since he's went back to St Johnstone, and they've had no hesitation of playing him. Even when he was out injured for those few games, he was straight back into the team, Derek, as soon as he was fit again. So, a guy who maybe isn't a fantastic player, but can certainly perform in the Premier League. So I'm pleased that he's coming back. Still not sure about Halliday, like we said before. And that's, to be honest, Derek, that's the first I've heard about Dodu coming back. I've never even seen his name mentioned anywhere. So again, I think a player that we all know has got the talent there, Derek, but whether or not he's he would be in Graham Murty's plans, I don't know. I certainly think that Michael O'Halloran will be, but we definitely need a player on the left hand side. I think that's very evident. But certainly the players coming back will only boost the squad, whether or not they're going to get a game or not. But I've got a feeling that O'Halloran will.
Yeah, quite possibly could, so we'll just need to wait and see how that works out. Now, as much as I hate talking about it, you've got a list of names.
Love it, Derek. Love it.
I'm looking at one now, and it's it seems to be the unknown brother of the Goss brothers, isn't it?
Who's that?
There's a guy called Sean Goss who's apparently having a medical now. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Derek, you're giving me an exclusive here. Has this just happened?
It's been on Twitter the last hour and a half.
Oh, but see, I've been talking to you, mate. So basically, what you're trying to tell me is, any time that I've been speaking, you've basically not been interested in the slightest, and you've been looking at your phone. Is that what you're telling me?
Donald Trump talking about a big button.
I was expecting you to say, sorry, Dave, I was looking at my phone there. No, Derek has just been caught out, folk. I have basically just been speaking to myself for the last sort of hour. There you go. 33 seconds. Sky Sports News. QPR midfielder Sean Goss joins Rangers on loan until the end of the season. That was 33 seconds ago.
Well, that's just been confirmed there, if that's the case then. So at least that's not a rumour then.
There you go. Derek, see you and your exclusives, man. Bang on the nose. Derek, you know me, I love the rumours page, and I've been sitting at work with a friend of the pod, Ewan, and that's basically all we've been talking about for the last few shifts that we've been on, as players that we've been linked with. I've got a long list of names here. That guy Goss, that's the first time I've heard about him, so it shows you what my rumours is, absolute nonsense. But the one player, there's two players here, Derek, that we are constantly being linked with, and the first player is Jamie Murphy of Brighton, ex-Motherwell player. He is a left winger, 28 years old, and there's a fee being bandied about of about £1 million. Now, there was a lot of talk that the fee had been agreed. Now there's talk today again that we're quite some distance off agreeing a fee for him, which, I would believe probably more than the first one that would agreed at a £1 million fee. But this guy certainly was a constant performer for Brighton when they were in the Championship last season. Very highly thought of at that point, but basically not broken into the first team this season at all. We've been told that he's a big Rangers fan. Not that matters, Derek, to be honest with you, but we've been told that he's desperate to come and join us because that is his club. So certainly on paper looks as if he would be a fantastic addition to our team on the left-hand side, but again we'll have to wait and see. The other one being bandied about is Scotland international defender Russell Martin, who plays for Norwich. I don't know if you heard that one or not, Derek. He has been asked apparently if he would be open for a move to Rangers. He says he definitely would be, but again I think that would probably be a loan deal than anything else, which again I'm happy about. Experienced defender in there. I know he's not the fastest, but I don't think you need to be the fastest to play in the Premier League in Scotland as long as you are more solid than anything else. Another couple of players constantly, as we are linked with nearly all the time, Stephen Naismith, but there's actually talk that the way that he's came out in the press and said that his next move is going to be from his heart rather than his head. There's been a lot of talk saying that it's maybe actually Kilmarnock that he's going to, because of the good job that Steve Clarke's done there. I don't know. We've also been linked with Killie left winger Jordan Jones, who I think looks a fantastic player, Derek. He was outstanding against us when Kilmarnock played us. He's a really good player, so if they missed out on Murphy, he could possibly be the ideal guy to go for after that. And the other one that I thought was really good, which will be completely pie in the sky because there's no way that we would be able to get him unless it was on loan, was Jason Cummings. Now that our ex-manager Mark Warburton, and I'm sure you were going to cover this in the news, has been given the bullet at Nottingham Forest. So I don't know what you think of that. Players going out though, we've had quite a few. Apparently there's been bids. Again, this hasn't been confirmed, but there's been a lot of talk that there's been bids for Josh Windass, but it has fell way short of our valuation for him. So I'm pleased at that point, if that is true, Derek, that they're not just going to be cashing in, whatever they can for him, because Windass has played well for us this season. Another one that I've heard of was that there's apparently interest from Derby for James Tavernier, but again, Derek, and there's a lot of folks saying, you're completely off your head, but if anything short of £1 million for Tav, I think should be absolutely laughable. Don't know what you think about that. And the other player that I've got here that there's been talk of moving, and it's no big surprise because he's not broken into the team at all, is Eduardo Herrera. Don't know what you think any of them, Derek. I know that Murphy has been strongly linked, with us constantly recently, but I certainly think that he would be a very good signing for us. Have you heard any other ones? I know you try to ignore all these things, but I think it's quite good to look at them.
Bookies suspend betting on Robin Van Persie coming to Rangers.
I didn't say bookies though, Derek. I didn't say bookies.
Aye, but it's all the same thing. I mean, do you know when I finally said, right, and it was only just recently, when I finally said that, right, I'm not even looking at any more rumours like this. Was
that when we're signing Ronaldo?
Exactly, aye. on the morning of the game that got Warburton the sack, the Scottish Sun had Warburton going after Foderingham. This is a manager who's been playing his team has been playing utter shite. He's been on the verge of getting sacked for a good few games now, and it was the game that got him the sack, and now they're saying that it was linked to him. Go and fuck off. Where's your sources for that?
Well, what I'll say, Derek, is like with us, now he got away with it with Rangers in the Championship because we were by far the best team with the best squad in the Championship. He came in, as we know, and he had his one style of football, and we blew the Championship away. And then, we had a few games in the Premier League, and he basically couldn't change his style of football, Derek, and that's basically what got him the sack. He's went down to Nottingham Forest and done exactly the same thing down there. Now, this is what gets me about people going on about the Championship. Championship is a poor level of football, Derek. I know that for a fact by watching it. The defending's not great, and you can see the players that have played in Scotland that go down there, especially players for us that have went down and been a success down there, and especially the two guys that are now doing it at Ipswich. Mark Warburton went to Nottingham Forest. He got them playing his attacking style of football. His philosophy is there, Derek. I'm not taking that away from the guy, but if you've not got Messi, Neymar and Suarez up front, you can't play that way and be successful, and that's basically what he was trying to do. But he went to Nottingham Forest and he got them playing very well for the first 3 or 4 games of the season, and they were winning the vast majority of their games and winning well, and then they got found out, Derek, and he couldn't change it. And they got found out every single game, and this is what the Forest fans are coming on social media saying, by the way, you were right, all of this pish that he comes away with of I've not got a plan B, we just need to do plan A better. He was using exactly the same things that he said with us down there. He got found out very quickly down there and knew he's been given the bullet because he couldn't change things, and that's basically what's happened to him.
Yeah, I have no sympathy whatsoever.
Yep. Now, are you sure he came out and said that he actually knew he'd been sacked this time?
Well,
do you know what I mean? We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
No, but that's my rumours, Derek. I know you're not too keen on them, but I think it adds a wee bit of excitement to us. The vast majority, but 98% of it, we know will probably be a lot of absolute nonsense. But for me, I think it's quite a good laugh to see a lot of these things, and a lot of the fan reaction as well is hilarious. But we'll just have to wait and see what pans out in that one.
Yeah, we will. None of it. Moving on now, I've got a couple of last bits of Rangers news here. As Tavernier has started a wee side business, and it's with his friend, and it's breeding bulldogs.
Oh, right, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
A bit of random information there. And another bit here is Rangers legend Johnny Hubbard, who has been battling with health issues since a heart attack in the summer. A crowdfunding page has been set up to assist with his care costs.
Excellent.
Raised £4,000 in less than 12 hours. However, his family have given their heartfelt thanks. However, they're refunding the money due to a change in their circumstances. So
all right.
I hope all is well there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Absolute
legend. Yep.
Next bit here is after quitting as Holland boss, Dick Advocaat was clearly in no mood to retire, as he's been named head coach of Dutch side Sparta Rotterdam.
Really? Right, okay.
He'll take over after the winter break until the end of the season, and they're currently sitting second bottom of the table, so he's work cut out there. All
right, okay. That was, as usual, there was the usual supporters out there that were banding him to come back to us at one point, Derek, but... he will go down as being a successful manager at Rangers, but I'm never in favour of us going back a second time for anybody. So, no, good luck to him. As you say, he must be almost 70 now.
70 exactly, yeah.
That's showing that he's still got an appetite for the job, and as you say, a big job in his hands there.
Yep. Next bit here happened yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe. Dean Shields again received abuse because of his disability.
Yes.
Falkirk fans threw fake eyes on the park. Yep, due to mock him. And when Falkirk travelled to Dunfermline, Falkirk, in their credit, have released a statement pretty swiftly, completely condemning it. So I just do not know what the fucking mentality of some idiotic fans are. They really are.
Derek, when Dean Shields played for Rangers, we played Falkirk a few times, and I heard, because you know I live in Falkirk, so quite a lot of my friends are Falkirk fans, and a lot of times I would hear them, especially in the town and stuff. And Falkirk fans, when we played Falkirk at the Falkirk Stadium, were singing songs about him having, about his condition with his eye. It's absolutely shocking at the time, disgusting, and the fact that it's still going on is unbelievable. The fact that when they played Dunfermline the last time, he was getting mocked with two of the Falkirk players as well, shows the mentality. Also, just absolute scum of the earth. I've said it many, many times. There's no love lost between me and that club down there. I've never ever liked them, and it's the horrible wee man mentality that they have as a football club. These idiot supporters that go out, hardly any of them as well, I would like to say. They're not exactly the biggest supported clubs out there, but absolutely disgusting by them. And I wouldn't even expect that type of behaviour for your nearest rivals, or bitter rival supporters, Derek, with things like that. So,
Aberdeen fans?
Completely disgusted by it, and as I say, it's still going on. And I know that they go on about their hatred for Dunfermline, but that's got fuck all to do with Dunfermline, because they've done exactly the same thing when he was playing for us as well. So, but fair play to Dean Shields as well. All the players have came out and said that the guy has basically, it's no bother to him in the slightest. He went on about his job, and Dunfermline got the 2-0 victory as well to get it right up them. Not that I'm a Dunfermline fan in any way, but it's good to see that happen as well, because that would have made the idiots that done it even more sick that they got beat also, and they're sitting second bottom of the table. So absolutely no sympathy from me, and it'll be exactly the same with a lot of other supporters out there as well. So
yep, fuck them.
Yep.
Feyenoord had suspended Michael Kramer after he was caught eating a roll and a croquette at half-time during a cup clash.
Okay.
He was spotted scoffing the meal during the home fixture against Heracles.
Oh, Hercules.
That is side 1 at 3-1. He was suspended for the next game by the club, and they suspended him on 2 training sessions as well. Does that not kind of defeat the purpose? He's been a fat pie at half time, exactly. So I'm going to ban you from doing exercise.
I don't know if you've seen, Derek, when you're talking about things at half time, there was the live game on BBC Alba yesterday, and it was the St Mirren against Greenock Morton match. Did you happen to see any of that?
No.
And in typical style in Scotland, something was thrown onto the pitch as the guy was taking it. Was either a throw in or a corner, I'm not sure, but something flew onto the pitch from the side of the park, and he looked down and it was half a bounty, so he picked it up and ate it in front of all the supporters. Absolutely brilliant. It's all over Twitter. You need to actually go on here. Look, absolutely hilarious. Good stuff.
Yes. So.
Oh, here we go. Right, I'm waiting.
Woman rode motorbike naked, got fingered in the street and punched a blind man.
Welcome to Fife.
Not quite, but a woman...
32-year-old granny from Methil. Go.
A woman has been jailed and banned from entering Woking after she punched a blind man and was caught in the middle of a sex act in the street. Natasha Claus, funnily enough, that's an apt name for this time of the year, was described as a mess by a judge after she turned up to court 4 hours late to be handed a 13-month prison sentence.
Now that is mental, right?
The judge revealed that she had also been caught riding through Surrey town naked on a motorbike, but added that she was not being sentenced for that particular incident. She pleaded guilty to outrage public decency after she was caught in the middle of a sex act that Judge Peter Ross said was no doubt for money. This is apparently verbatim from the prosecutor.
Oh my God.
George Upton said she was spotted in Goldsworth Road, Woking, being fingered by a man on the 29th of July this year.
It's not even that. Your opening statement as well, that she punched a blind man. Where did that come from?
A mother with her 2 children asked her to stop, and Claus responded by threatening to punch her. When she was arrested at the scene, police said her jeans were pulled up but her knickers were in her handbag. Mr. Upton told Guildford's Crown Court that she was in the habit of befriending vulnerable men and taking advantage of them.
Okay.
I'm just trying.
That is a belter. That is an absolute belter.
Trouble flared when one of those men was threatened with being kicked out of his flat by the local council because of her antisocial behaviour. They argued and Claus attacked him. Because he was registered blind, he couldn't tell if it was her palm or her fist.
Okay. Oh, that is an absolute belter.
Some people, eh?
Oh, unbelievable.
That story came out on the 28th of December, so quite apt for our name for...
Definitely, aye. That. Definitely. Do you think that's our stage name, Derek? Or is that actually supposed to be a real name?
I'd dread to think what our stage name's going to be.
Oh, that was superb.
So that kind of wraps up the podcast for this episode. As ever, you can check us out on our social media platforms, which is facebook.com/iReadyPod. Twitter is @iReadyPod. Our website is iReadyPodcast.wordpress.com. We do have our YouTube feed as well, which if you just search for iReadyPodcast, I'm not too sure when our next podcast is going to be, obviously because of the wee break here. We might try and get one out round about just after the first set of Florida Cup games. Certainly one before the Fraserburgh game anyway, and we'll see if we can speak then. But
I think what we'll definitely get one out sort of during the pre-season, during the break, Derek, and maybe we've been trying to organise a sort of special one with a guest. We'll have to try and get that organised as well. But we'll definitely get another one out sooner rather than later.
And the podcast as well.
Oh,
never gets old, does it?
No, it does. It does.
So, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Yep, take care. Goodbye.